What's going on, everyone? Today I have the 2019 Ford F-150 XLT. Now, most time the trucks that we get are like $70,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 trucks. So I thought it was going to be kind of refreshing to show you this XLT lower mid-level trim. Another thing about it is we kind of have a lot of available options. So you can see what kind of things you can get on the XLT if you don't want to splurge for a higher trim vehicle. So one thing is that we have the 2.7 liter EcoBoost right here, and I'll tell you about that in just a bit, but it's honestly not quite as peppy as I was expecting it to be. It definitely gets out of its own way, and it's got a lot of torque. It can definitely push you in the back a little bit, but it's just not quite what I was expecting. Anyways, I've been daily driving this thing for about a week. I have not been able to do any towing or off-road, but I'm going to give you some of those numbers and go through a lot of the features in just a sec. I have a couple full reviews of some loaded up F-150s where I talk about a lot of the other features available and standard on other trims. So if you want to see a more detailed comparison or more detailed video like that, head to the description below and check those out. With this truck, I've done a mix of city and highway driving, and with the 2.7 liter EcoBoost, I've been trying to kind of watch and see, not trying to get good miles, but watch and see just how efficient a smaller engine like this was. And over a course of time, over the whole time, it's been about 18.6 miles per gallon. Not quite what I wanted with mixed driving, but other than the miles per gallon, I mean, when you put it in, this thing actually has it's got a tow haul mode, snow wet mode, eco, and sport mode. And when you put it in sport mode, you really do get some of that power. So that can make this a little bit more fun. Like I said, it's not as peppy as I was expecting, but it definitely does really well. Let me tell you more about the truck right now, and then we'll go through the rest of the test drive in a little bit. Let's talk about that engine first. So we've got Ford's 2.7 liter EcoBoost V6 engine, and it's actually direct and port injected despite it being turbocharged. And the power numbers on that are going to be pretty impressive for an engine that small. 325 horsepower with 400 pound-feet of torque. That's paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission, just like every single other powertrain. And the mile per gallon with our 4x4 model is going to be 19 in the city, 24 on the highway, 21 combined. Pretty good numbers for an engine like this, but I just have not been getting quite those numbers. And if you want to see some of the other details of the other engines, check the description below for my other F-150 videos. Now, you're not going to get this engine if towing is your main priority, but this is still a fairly capable truck with towing and somewhat with payload as well. The actual towing numbers for our model with the 3.5 liter or 3.55 electronic locking rear axle is going to be 7,600 pounds with this 4x4 model. That's going to vary quite a bit. Payload is going to be 1,690 pounds. And those aren't great numbers, but I'll put a link in the description. You can go to Ford's F-150 brochure, and they've got a whole chart, like a whole table with all the axle ratios, the weight ratings, the 4x4, the bed length, all that. That changes the towing and payload numbers significantly. So go down below and check that out. Like I said, the payload is just under 1,700 pounds. Primarily, this engine is going to be for, MPG, some towing, some payload. And if you just want all this space that you get with a full-size truck, but some of the efficiency that you can get with the smaller truck. But in the back with that truck bed, aside from the 1,700 pound payload, we have the optional step, the tailgate step that Ford gives you. We have 4 fixed tie downs, 1 in each corner. I'd like to see maybe an extra 1 or a couple more. This does not have the box link system with the movable tie down cleats, but you can get that. We have the spray and bed liner and LED box lighting, plus there's a 110 volt power outlet back there. On the outside, there's going to be some differences between the higher trims and the lower trims like this XLT. Now, our XLT model right here has the chrome appearance package. We have halogen headlights, no LEDs on the XLT. We also have fog lights. The headlights are not that great, but the fog lights definitely help with the peripheral vision. I definitely prefer the Ford's LED headlights, even though I don't think those are all that great either, but they do look pretty nice. We also have a chrome bumper, 18-inch wheels with this FX4 package, and they are all-terrain tires as well. I definitely prefer the 18s over the 20 or 22s for ride quality. FX4 is also going to give us some skid plates, and on the inside even a tray-style floor liner. Our mirrors have spotlights on them, also approach lighting on the bottom, And the spotlights are super bright and very helpful when you're loading anything at night, or kind of almost just want to light up anything next to you to check things out. This also has the optional chrome step bars instead of the power folding bars like we've seen on the last couple of vehicles. And then once you get to the back, you have the single exhaust tip. You have F-150 stamped on the tailgate instead of like Platinum, Limited, or King Ranch, kind of a whole label on the bed of the truck. Now, one of my things about the F-150s, all of them, no matter what, is that I've been very comfortable in the seats. So I think the shaping of the seats are good. The headrests have an adjustable pattern to them, so if you like your headrest forward or backwards, you can be comfortable. We have cloth power seats with lumbar support in our model. And most time in the XLT, you'll have the 3-passenger setup with this folding armrest here, flip-up armrest. But we actually have the split right here with this big center console. So if you want it's not a bench, but if you want the 3-person seat, you can get that on the XLT. Or you can get this one right here with more storage space. But these seats can form pretty well. They're definitely comfortable. I've had no trouble with them at all, and it's just an airy, spacious cabin. Ford also gives us a driver display right above the steering wheel. The display is definitely smaller than the ones you'll see in the other trucks, like the most recent Platinum that I was in with their larger screen that gives you a ton of information. But this one still gives you a lot of information, from a trip computer, towing, off-road, changing settings, all that good stuff. Plus, we have Ford's 8-inch system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. No upgraded sound system in here like the B&O sound system, and it sounds okay. It's nothing great, but it's definitely not as good as the B&O system. You even have real physical buttons for your system, which is nice. You don't have to touch a screen for everything that you want to do. Same goes with the climate controls. We just have regular single zone manual controls, no dual zone AC in here. And then one thing that I'm kind of disappointed with, when you have the 4x4 controls in here, obviously, but you have your 4 high, your 4 low, and your 2-wheel drive, but you don't have the automatic setting like you would get in the other trims. But like that Platinum I was recently in had that. It's just something nice, an option. Most of you probably wouldn't use it very often, but it'd be nice to have. Right below the towing controls, you have your trailer backup assist, where you literally just turn a knob to help you back up your trailer, and then your trailer brake control right below that. You can turn off the auto stop start system. There's a button on the dash, as well as your traction control and your downhill assist button as well, with a storage bin right up above that. So lots of storage up there, and there's a 12-volt power outlet and a 110-volt plug-in right here on the dash. One thing that I really love is I seem to always have a lot of stuff with me, or people that I have with me have a lot of stuff, and I like to store things. And this center console right here is massive. You got a couple USBs, you've got good storage, good bottle holders, and we even have the column shifter here, so that frees up some space right next to our legs here for some extra storage. And then this armrest is huge, it's soft. When you go ahead and open it up, you've got a sliding tray inside, a 110-volt power outlet. It's like a whole workstation in here, and it's just super spacious and nice. One difference though is obviously you're not going to have all of the soft touch materials, like even up here on the door, up on the dash, you know, like you get in the King Ranch Platinum Limited, the actual accents on the limited trim. Not a big deal to me. If you want some of the higher end stuff, you can get it on other trucks, but this XLT is just perfect for me. And then another thing that I was surprised you could get on the XLT trim, fairly low down there, is a panoramic sunroof up here. This twin panel is what they call it, but the twin panel roof is massive. And I think that it's primarily for your backseat passengers because you can't really get to see it, but it's still pretty cool. Lets a lot of light in. It's just, you know, it's just a nice cabin. Now, if you're hauling people, workers, family, whatever around, the back seat is ideal. So on this XLT trim, one thing I was bummed about was that there's not a center folding armrest like there is on some of the upper trims, but there's still a ton of leg space, good storage space, couple cup holders behind the center console. You have AC vents, USB ports, 110-volt power outlet. So you're good to go with charging, and you can fold the seats up for a little storage area under the seats and a completely flat load floor. That makes it really convenient for carrying and hauling just some random big items you don't want in the back of the truck. Now back to the test drive. Let's get on it in sport mode. Gets us up to speed real quick right there, and it's holding the RPMs. So if you've seen some of my other videos, especially my Expedition video, I didn't like the 10-speed transmission in that particular vehicle. I thought, for whatever reason, it just felt kind of jerky. But in this one, and in the diesel F-150s, I feel like it's done a really nice job. It's been smooth. If you get in stop and go traffic, which a lot of you probably won't be in a pickup like this, it can be pretty jerky, which is not fun. It's kind of unsettling, but for the most part, when you put your foot down, not in sport mode anymore, you get some good pickup, especially from that turbo. I mean, it'll definitely give you some low-end torque. And this has smaller wheels. You know, a lot of those other trucks that we've seen have like 20 or 22-inch wheels and not a whole lot of rubber. This has the FX4 off-road package, so we've got all-terrain tires and 18-inch wheels, and it's actually been a pretty comfortable ride. I've always thought the F-150 was a pretty nice riding truck, at least for this generation. When you get some of those bigger wheels, it does make it stiffer, but these 18-inch wheels have smoothed this out a little bit. I believe it's a softer riding truck than the Silverado, the 2019 Silverado. I can't remember. I haven't done a full review on a Ram to talk about that, but good things I've heard from that. The handling in the F-150 is not the best. I mean, it's nimble enough. Going around corners, you get some body lean, of course, but it's got a little bit of weight to it when you are in some small maneuvering situations, which can be a little bit bothersome, but for the most part, not a whole lot of feedback, but it goes exactly where you want it to go. You can't really complain about a pickup's handling. Another thing about the F-150s, all of them that I've had, this has laminated glass here, so that helps. I have had a little bit of wind noise, but not a whole lot. Road noise is very well contained. This road actually has kind of a rough surface, and it's done pretty well. The decibel ratings were all below 70 on the interstate and on a highway, rougher surface highway, so that is very nice. When you do get on some bumpier roads, one thing I wish is that, like I said, we don't have the automatic four-wheel drive, which would be nice, but I mean, the all-wheel drive system here, the all-terrain tires that we have, I'm sure do a good enough job. So right now I'm actually turning around on some gravel. I had it just in two-wheel drive because I wanted to see how that locking rear differential worked, and I had to put it in four. But automatic four would have gotten us out of there. Four-wheel drive, of course, is going to get us out. And it's nothing big. It's just we've gotten a lot of rain, so it's kind of mucky. But you can shift on the fly with this four-wheel drive system, which is nice. Now, if any of you are interested in some of the safety features, this has blind spot monitoring, which comes in handy. You have rear parking sonar, you've got your backup camera, and the backup camera actually has dynamic hitch assist, so it's a line right in the middle. And then this has the automatic emergency braking, the pre-collision system. It just doesn't have, you know, the radar cruise, the lane keep assist, some of the other more advanced things like that. So I want to know, for all of you, some of you have commented on other videos, but which trim level and which powertrain would you go with for the F-150? I was honestly really surprised just how much you can get with this F-150, with the XLT. I like how you can option up a lot of stuff. You're not stuck with the particular trim level. And one thing I forgot to mention is that these seats are heated. So that's nice to have as well, even though they're cloth. But leave your comments down below what you like, which truck you would get, which options you would get as well. But in conclusion, my thoughts on the F-150, I think it's a fairly simple truck for the most part. This XLT still gives you a decent amount of stuff. It just does everything really well. It can tow good enough. If you want to tow better, of course, you can get a different engine. Same goes with the payload. Tons of space in here, but you guys pretty much know what I think of the F-150. It's no surprise that it is the best-selling truck. That does not surprise me at all. It does a lot really well. But like I said, if you want to see more detailed videos, head to the description down below for some other videos. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe down below for weekly videos as well, and I'll catch you guys next time.